Hi, I'm Victoria Ballou. Thank you for trusting your intuition and joining me here to choose a stack of cards and hear the message that your subconscious wants you to know today. And I want to share with you my favorite quote, the one that keeps me motivated toward my calling. It's by Albert Einstein, and what he said is, everything is energy. That's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. This is not philosophy. This is physics. This is my guiding light as I work with tarot and dreams and numerology, my pendulum with my labyrinth, with all of this, because I understand we are all energy. And raising ourselves to our highest vibration is what we are all here to do, whether we understand that consciously or not. We work through the tarot because this is working with our subconscious and intuitive energies. And so I want to share that with you before we begin diving into today's message. You know, I invite you to hit the subscribe button because this week we are going to be investigating the pendulum as it relates to the labyrinth and other metaphysical modalities which will help us understand and raise that vibration that we all individually have. Also, if you have more questions, if you really want to dive deeper into all metaphysical modality, to see what works best with you, maybe discover something new, I invite you to subscribe to my monthly magazine. It's an online magazine called Astrologic, and you can find it at astrologicmagazine.com. Everything that you want to know about astrology, tarot, dream work, and as I said, other modalities are right there for you to either dive deeper into or perhaps discover new. All right, so let's tune in to our 3-card stack and see which one resonates with you. Don't overthink this, just go with what your intuition is saying. Will you choose stack 1 underneath Vesta, my warrior priestess who represents intellect and courage? Or perhaps it's underneath the shell, which was fossilized millions of years ago and represents permanence and growth. Or it could be underneath the obelisk, this beautiful granite quartz obelisk that represents power and endurance. Choose the stack that resonates with you, and let's take a look at what your message is today. We will begin with Vesta, scoot her over on my Charter Labyrinth, and take a look at the first card, which represents your overview. This is your energy from a broad standpoint right now, and you probably know what this is. When I pull the card, you're going to say, yes, that's the energy I'm resonating with right now. It could be something from a very broad standpoint or something very directed, very focused and deep. But let's see what it is. You have the Princess of Swords. This is awesome. This just means you have clarity on something right now. And again, it could be something that is that is in a very broad way that you realize from a very wide perspective, or it could be on something very specific that you have finally gained clarity on, that it's come to you in that moment of inspiration where you go, oh yes, that's it. So this is a wonderful place to be. Of course, the Princess of Swords, not only is she gaining clarity, but she's a rebel. This says that you have probably either come to this clarity through some sort of unorthodox, unconventional way, or it's clarity that may not match up with what is a traditional an approach to gaining wherever you are mentally. And it may mean that others don't necessarily approve of where you are right now. It doesn't matter. You have this clarity, and that is all that matters to you right now. And that's awesome. But of course, we have challenge energy. energy that's challenging you right now that is working in tandem with your fabulous clarity that's come to you. So let's see what this challenge energy is. Okay, so you have 7 of Wands. It's called Valor. You know, valor represents courage. It represents choosing a direction that resonates with your highest intentions, with your highest good, with what you perceive to be the way you need to proceed with an endeavor, a situation. This is saying that you're being challenged. So you have this clarity with you right now that is just you're saturated with it. Again, whether on a broad scale or on something very directed, but the clarity that you have gained is creating some sort of discord. There is something that is not matching up because it's coming in the form of challenging some aspect of courage or integrity that you resonate with. So this is a real challenge here. That's why we have the course of action called for card that we're going to look at next. This is the action that you need to take to overcome, to unify, to redirect this challenge energy so that you have everything flowing at a very high vibration for you. So let's see what that is. Okay, well, you have the 6 of Wands. It's called Victory. And what I want to point out here is something very interesting, because your challenge card is the 7 of Wands, Valor. And if you look at the, there are 3 wands this way, with a wand running right down the middle. 3 wands going in each direction, both ways, with a wand, a crooked wand, running down the middle. And it has these spikes coming off of it, right? They look like little lightning bolts. They're spiky and they feel very activated, right? This has a feeling of being either supercharged in a positive way or perhaps not, so not working with your energy, right? So then, and of course that's the modality that we're working with here, because this is your challenge. Then you bring in the 7 of Wands, Victory, and look at how these wonderful little spikes, lightning bolts, whatever these are, have changed into these wonderful, beautiful flames coming off, again, of 3 wands directing in one way and 3 wands directing in another. But here the flames are going straight up, you know, almost like in your chakras, working with your kundalini energy, right? It's just all headed up to the highest. And so clearly what your message is today is that you need to resonate with the victory energy of what this Princess of Swords energy has brought you. And you need to recognize that you are caught up in this conundrum of not understanding exactly how to be authentic with this, because there's something that's that is not feeling authentic, that is somehow interfering with the way that you handle things from a courage, integrity standpoint. And so what this is saying overall is that you must understand that you do have a victory here. You need to embrace the challenge of looking at it from a different way. But you know, with this Princess of Swords energy, you have the ability to look at it from a different perspective. So this is saying, yes, you can do that. And feel the victory, feel the clarity, as well as your valor. That's exactly what we're working with here. Now, from a dreaming standpoint, I really think you are probably dreaming about fire, because again, we have these beautiful little flames here with this 6 of Wands energy, and symbolically, Fire represents change, bringing about change. It also represents purification. These are energies that you are working with right now because of the clarity that has come to you, because of the change that is obviously happening within you and needs to continue happening until you bring all of this to a resolution that feels authentically right for you. And I really hope you do. I hope you spend the time with this, because if you do, you're going to bring about this wonderful change in your life the whole way, not just partially, because that's what you have right now is partial. If you really work through this valor energy and see it all as a victory and find that balance, find that cohesion that feels true to you, then this is going to make a huge difference in your life. Okay, let's take a look at the second stack. The first card we're looking at is the overview, your energy from a very broad standpoint right now. And it could also represent something small or something grand in your life. Let's see what it is. The Fool. I love the Fool because it's almost a misnomer when they named him the Fool hundreds of years ago. I understand why they did from the history of tarot, but the Fool is always at the beginning of something. This is saying right now, you represent, that your energy represents something that you're at the beginning of, that you're willing to take a risk with, that you have the ability to go forward with, that you have the courage to do this, right? The Fool is energy that says, yes, I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but I know it's right. Again, this is trusting your intuition. This is tuning in to who you really are and going with it. This is fabulous energy, and I'm really happy to see that you have it right now. So let's tune in and see what your challenge energy is, because again, Fool is a risk taker, but here's what is so amazing and marvelous about the Fool is that he recognizes that he or she is a soul who has incarnated into a physical life to have a physical experience, to enjoy all the things that come in our lives, but also recognizes that there are challenges that accompany those, the yin and the yang, the balance that's always there. So let's take a look at what your Fool energy is being challenged with. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see this. It's the Four of Discs in the Thoth deck here. They call it power. This represents a foundational aspect. You can see each one of these discs, which are represented as squares in this card, are forming the foundation of something that's going to be very sturdy and built upon, right? But this is your challenge energy. So it's saying that while, and as we look at it with your Fool overview card, this is saying while you have this this wonderful glee of taking off on some perhaps impetuous path that feels very right to you, you don't have a foundation in place for this, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's a move you're doing, which it feels like a move, either a residential move or a job move, or it could be a relationship move, any sort of shift, right? That's the Fool energy. But while this feels intuitively right to you, you don't really have your foundation in place yet. So that's the challenge. Therefore, we need to take a look at your course of action called for card to see how to help you maneuver this. Okay, you have the Star. Star represents clear perception. Star energy is all about recognition of where you are, gaining this insight, recognizing also that you might be in the spotlight at this point, that people may be looking at you going, oh my gosh, look, he or she stepped out and really put themselves in this position. This is very exciting for them. Let's see how this turns out for them, and so this is your course of action called for, to allow that to be, even though it may scare you right now, that you inside don't know that this is where you're going, right? So it's saying, yes, you need to find a little bit of that foundation within you, because it's necessary at this point. Your full energy, overview energy, you may have just taken off on just this impulsive tangent, which I'm always in favor of, but you need to always temper it. You feel that burst of energy that just is really exciting for you, of yes, this was what I know I need to do, and yes, I'm going to go do this now. But then you need to allow that further calming energy to come in just a little bit, to recognize, okay, to do this, why don't I put a couple of things in place that are going to help me really make this happen? So that's what you need to be doing right now. But I'm really excited for you to be in this energy. It's very creative. You feel very motivated, and I'm really happy about this for you. So from a dreaming standpoint, it has to be a house that you're dreaming about. And you're probably on the first floor of this house, and it could feel like maybe there's a storm outside, there's an earthquake, there's something that's shifting in that foundation that is not feeling like it's permanent or like it's secure. You could also be on a boat where you're on a very choppy sea, right? Because water represents conscious life experience for us, and this could represent you. This is what's happening in your life, is that things are getting moved around, shifted, that things are not in a real steady place for you. But it could also feel very exciting in your dream. So I would expect that you're either in a house, which represents an aspect of your mind, and the foundation being off for some reason, rocky for some reason, or on choppy water. Once you work with this energy that we have suggested here, in terms of just setting a base in place for you, at least something, a cornerstone, just begin with that even, then everything is going to smooth out for you in that dream work of yours. All right, let's take a look at the third stack underneath the obelisk. First card is your overview energy, your energy from a very broad standpoint right now. You're going to know what this is, even if it's something, as I said, from a broad perspective, or it could be something that's small, but nevertheless something significant to you that feels really good. Okay, it's the Tower. Of course, the Tower represents change. It represents change that's happening that you cannot stop. Even if you wanted to stop it, you can't. And trying to stop it makes the situation only worse. This is energy that it is bringing something tumbling down around you. But if this, and again, being your overview energy, this is something that you're wanting to bring to a conclusion. And perhaps you already recognize that what the Tower means is that from this crumbling of the Tower, that something new is coming. Something new and wonderful is coming into your life. And I hope that you do recognize that right now, because it makes this upheaval a lot easier to take. It's a lightning bolt that has hit something sudden, and that suddenly it's a shift, whether it's a physical move you're dealing with, a job change, a relationship change, something that has shifted in your life. Just recognize that you are in the midst of this. You cannot slow it down or shift the direction of it. It's going to complete its down motion, so that then the energy can begin moving up again and rebuilding. So let's take a look at your challenge card, because clearly there's something big going on in your life right now. Okay, Knight of Swords, challenge energy. This is saying you really don't know the direction that you're going. And I'm really glad you tuned in and chose this stack of cards, because let's work through this energy. Yeah, and so whatever this is that's happening in your life, you need to just get a direction. You need to find the way to look at this from a very constructive place. You know, Knight of Swords, of course, represents intellect. Swords are air, the element of air. It represents thinking. And the Knight of Swords is usually just on a mission and knows exactly where he or she is going. This being your challenge card, you don't know. So that with the Tower card is showing us that you're in a really tumultuous state right now, a really fluid state, we'll call it. So let's take a look at your course of action called for to see what the tarot, what your intuition, what your subconscious is saying you need to do in order to work with this situation that you find yourself right now. All right, Three of Cups, abundance. Of course, Cups is about emotion. It's all about recognizing the abundance that you have in your life right now. So I am, from the cards, this is showing that this is a relationship situation with you. And of course, it can be with someone else that you're engaged in this tumultuous moment right now where everything is crumbling and you really don't know what to do about it. It can also be a sign of within yourself, right? That you feel like emotionally you just don't know where you are and how to get a grip on this situation and go forward. It can also represent you and two other people. Certainly with this Three of Cups, it's saying there's the likelihood that are two people involved in this situation, and that two people besides yourself, and that your course of action called for here is to mitigate, to find the way to bring this into a state of recognizing the change that has happened. It's saying you need to recognize it not only intellectually, but from your heart, and put this into the perspective of, yeah, this is okay. This is how it's supposed to go, and I am okay with it. This can apply to many situations in your life, and I can think of a lot right now, but something has really taken you off balance right now, and you just don't know the direction. Here's what you need to do. You need to find the place, the course, the attitude within yourself that says, this is okay. This is the way that it was supposed to go. And if it doesn't feel like the way it was supposed to go, because intuitively I'm getting that, then this is the way it is, and that I have to accept it and put it in a place that feels good to me from a heart-centered place, and move on from there. You really have no choice. You can't stop this that's happening, and I'm sorry, but you will move through this energy. You must move through this energy, and taking that direction of just acquiescence at this point, of recognizing this as how it is, and then taking the steps to go through whatever process this is. It could be a grieving process. It could be something, and it feels like it could be because it has a lot of emotion, but there's a very head-ruled aspect too that you need to apply here. From a dreaming standpoint, this is very dynamic energy that's happening here, and it's very tumultuous for you. It absolutely could feel like you're on a very turbulent sea, because water represents our conscious life experience, and when it's very turbulent, it represents everything just being emotionally chaotic in our life. And you could be in a little boat, you could be swimming, you could be under the water and feeling like you're drowning. This is very much what you are experiencing right now. And as you work through this energy, as we see here, by addressing the emotional aspect and recalibrating how you're going to handle this situation, balancing everything out from an emotional perspective, even if it's not exactly how you wanted it to go, finding the way, finding the new path, everything's going to change for you. This is the way you need to do it, and this is how things are going to get back on track for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am here to serve you, and if you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments, because I really want to know how to help you more. And if you have any thoughts, leave those there as well. And as I mentioned, you can always subscribe to my magazine, astrologicmagazine.com, to tune into more tarot and dream work. You can also book a one-on-one session with me where we can work with the tarot, with your dreams, bring in numerology to help you understand your life and soul path, and also work with my pendulum, which can give us some really precise answers. So thank you for joining me, and I wish you the best day possible.